Hi guys, welcome to another video. My name is Gerdine and I'm the owner of the Dutch Healing Academy. Today I want to talk to you about the difference between a high sensitive person and an empath. These days, more and more people start to realize that they are actually high sensitive to all kinds of energies and situations. And that's great because when you realize that you're not actually overreacting or that all your symptoms of being drained and tired all the time and not being able to handle certain situations, as well as other people, that you're not broken or that there's something wrong with you, but actually you're just highly sensitive to all those energies, and then you can work with it. About 20 to 30% of the population is high sensitive, and more people are becoming highly sensitive these days because of the vibration of the earth that is changing, and well, that's a whole different story, but more and more people are highly sensitive. So more and more people are finding out, but 20 to 30% is actually a huge number. So loads and loads of people are feeling this way, so you're definitely not alone. And online you can find loads and loads of people who feel the same way and all kinds of tips how to deal with it. But then there's a small percentage of that, of highly sensitive persons, or at least not exactly highly sensitive persons, but there's a small percentage of people that feel the same but not quite, and those are the empaths. And the empaths are only about 8% of the world population, so a lot less. They're a lot more rare. And I want to explain a bit the difference between those two, because there are quite significant differences, and also the way you deal with it, because there's the tips that a high sensitive person gets for dealing with all those energies are good, but for an empath you need to go a little bit beyond that, because you interpret it. The way energy comes in is different. Well, let me give you an example of the difference between high sensitive and an empath. Say you're in a restaurant eating dinner with your family, and all of a sudden there's a couple that starts to argue and even get up yelling at each other, and it's quite an intense situation between them. They're really fighting. And as a high sensitive person, you then can start to feel uncomfortable. You can the energy of the anger is kind of affecting you, and you don't want to be there anymore. And that's more than just other people that are like, oh my god, they're fighting, what do we do, that's stop it. No, it's more than that. You feel personally affected by the situation. But not only those people, but you can also sense that all the other people in the restaurant are feeling uncomfortable, and basically you just feel like you want to get out of there. It's becoming too much, and it's like you can relate, but more than that. So that's a kind of how a high sensitive person would be, and you can feel really drained after a situation like that. So after that, you can feel like you're really tired, or you need to really recharge, and you don't want to go out anymore. And as a high sensitive person, you can feel drained a lot of the time. The difference between that and an empath, if an empath is in that restaurant and those people start to fight, they don't feel affected like, oh, I'm feeling uncomfortable with this, and I feel like everyone else is is uncomfortable and I feel ashamed and I feel drained. No, as an empath, you actually take over the energy of the highest or the strongest energy that is there, which in this case is the fighting couple, the anger that is there. So as an empath, you will probably feel angry, and you even may even start to react on that anger, and you would well, you're not very sure, you can't really tell what you're angry about, so you're just gonna vent it. And that can be venting it to those people who are actually already fighting, but you can also react to just the first thing that happens, like someone in your family is saying something, or your neighbor is saying something, and then you can well, be angry just like those people. It's like you just join them, because as an empath you take over energy like it is your own. So you not only do you feel uncomfortable by all these people around you who are uncomfortable with those people fighting, but you also take over the energy and maybe the sadness and maybe the frustration. Everything those people are feeling, you feel as well, and that can take over you, as well, that you just think it's your own and you're expressing that. And sometimes that can be really, really hard, because especially if you don't know that you're an empath and you're doing this, it's really difficult to distinct the difference between is it my emotion or is it someone else's emotion, because it feels the same. And so in that moment that you're in that restaurant, you can feel really overwhelmed with anger all of a sudden, and expressing that, and like, oh my God, how dare they fight in this restaurant and make everyone uncomfortable, and I'm gonna say something, and you're joining that fight, you're joining that anger. As a high sensitive person, you won't do that. You won't feel the anger as if it's your own. You rather just feel the anger as a pulse or a energy around you. As an empath, you feel it inside you. So that's basically a bit of the difference. I can name another example. You're walking on the street and you see a little girl sitting there, and she's crying. She's just in front of her house and she's playing, but her doll broke. As a normal person, because we're all normal, but most people will feel sympathy. And sympathy is like, oh yeah, that's really, really bad. Oh, it's not nice. Well, sorry. And your sympathy, you can imagine why she is sad. That's basically sympathy. You can imagine that for her, it's really sad that her doll broke. As a high sensitive person, you go one step beyond that. Not only do you have sympathy, but I can understand that you're sad. No, it's like, I'm really sad that she is sad. So you take it one step further. So you actually become personally affected by her sadness. And it's like, oh, I can remember that one of my favorite toys once broke, and you're starting to relive that, and that's why you feel sad and truly affected by the situation, even though if you don't know the girl, or well, you never, there's really no connection between you and this girl in this situation, but you feel personally affected because you can remember something that happened that way, or you just really empathize with how she is feeling, and you're really saddened by the situation. And then we have empaths, and empaths take it one step further even more, and they don't feel sad because she is sad. They feel sad because it's becoming their own sadness. So they don't think think like, oh, this is too bad for her, it's so sad for her because I can relate to it. No, they think, oh my god, my doll is broken and I am so overwhelmed with sadness because something that I love has been taken away. It's broken and I can't fix it, and this is my pain, this is my sadness. And that's quite the distinct difference between being highly sensitive and being an empath. As a highly sensitive person, you feel it's something that comes from the outside and it may or may not affect you. And as an empath, it comes from within. You take over the energy as if it is your own. And that's basically the great difference between being a high sensitive person and being an empath, and also a little bit of how people who aren't either of them react to things. So sympathy, empathy, and empath. So if you think, wow, this kind of resonates with me, I always thought I was a highly sensitive person, but actually I think I'm more of an empath, then great, because being a high sensitive person and being an empath means you have the ability to not only feel those energies and feel other people, but that means that if you learn to control that and to learn to not let it come in at once and just to work with those energies, you can become an amazing teacher, a coach, a healer, where you can do loads and loads and loads of inspiring things to help people, because you can truly understand them, because you feel that energy, because you understand them on a deeper level. So if you feel like you're a high sensitive person or you're an empath, and that's my son who's pretending to be a witch at the moment. But if you feel like you're that person and you don't really know how to make that difference between is it mine, is it someone else's, or you just you're new to this and you still feel really affected, and you want to know how to protect your energy, you can always send me a DM, you can always send me a personal message. Dankjewel, Erik. Thank you. You can always send me a personal message and I am happy to help you to control that. There are also loads of articles online, and I will post another video on how to protect yourself from energies from outside and how to make a self-care routine to recharge your battery so you can deal with it a lot better. Well, for now, this was my video about the difference between a high sensitive person and an empath. I hope you enjoy. Please subscribe to my channel, and if you like the video, please give a thumbs up. Any questions in the comments will be read and I will respond as soon as possible. For now, have a great day and I'll see you next time.